Hi, this is Kim from Dorothy's Daughter. Welcome to Friday Sewing School. This is for everyone who wishes they could sew and doesn't know where to start. I'm going to start from the very basic. If you're an experienced sewer, this may not be for you, but this is for those people who want to start at the very beginning. So this is lesson 1.0. We are going to go through the basic tools that you need in order to begin a sewing adventure. So down below you can download this list of the things we're talking about today so that you have that to refer by. You'll also see some links on various links on Amazon.com and that sort of thing, and some of those are affiliate links. I do make a little bit of commission from those, so if you want to help this channel out so that we can continue to expand it and bring good content, you can use those links below. Either way, the sewing lessons are completely free, and I just really have a heart to see the sewing not become a lost art, because I feel like it's not done as much as it used to be. I grew up sewing, and it's just such a wonderful skill to have. So here we go on our adventure. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to talk about how to choose a sewing machine in the next video. But you are going to need a sewing machine, and basically you're going to want to choose one with a straight stitch and a zigzag, and I'll go into that in more depth in the next video. You are going to need, we're going to go over the things you need to measure, cut your patterns out, and cut your fabric out first. So first things first, you need a measuring tape so that you can measure yourself. One thing that's good to do is get a buddy who can measure you and you can measure them. That works out really well. Draft a husband to do it. That's what I do. Or you can tie strings around your waist and those kind of things to assist you in knowing where the places are. There's all kinds of little tricks to be able to do that, but you are going to need a measuring tape. You are going to need a couple of rulers. A small ruler just to be able to measure seam allowances, that kind of thing. A regular ruler. This will help you if you need to cut any straight lines, if you're using your rotary cutter, which we'll talk about in a moment. And a curved ruler, which you are going to need if you do, like, for example, if you're going between sizes and you need to blend one hip into the waist of the other size, you're going to need one of these to true it up. And again, there are links to these things down in the description below. And by the way, this list is not inclusive. There are other things you're going to need along the way. This is just the list. If you want to sew, and you asked me, what do you think I should have on hand in the beginning? This is that list, okay? But there's a whole lot of other things, and you'll accumulate them as time goes on. You're going to need scissors. So you're going to need scissors that can cut paper, which you can get any old cheap pair. These are for paper. These are for fabric. Never mix the two. I know it's tempting to grab your fabric scissors sometimes because they're close by. Never cut paper with your fabric scissors. And don't allow anyone else to. As you can see, this meme that I've got up here is pretty funny, but there's a lot of truth to it. Don't let anyone touch your fabric scissors. My family knows it's under penalty of death that they cannot mess with my fabric scissors. One time of cutting paper with these, I've seen them get dull after one time. So definitely don't cross those. So you can go get a pair. These are just a pair of cheap Fiskars for paper. And you'll need these to cut pattern paper out, whether it's the tissue paper or the PDF printed paper. You'll need that to cut it out. You're going to need, I talked about the rulers. You're going to need marking pens to transfer all the markings on your patterns to your fabric. So these are all things that will write on fabric that will go away. This one is an invisible marker that goes away with water. This is probably my favorite one, but this is the oldest one that I've had, but there are newer things, but I still like this one the best. This is a friction pen, which goes away with heat or rubbing it. These are new, and they're pretty cool too. These two are chalk pencils that basically you can rub away. You can use the little eraser on the end of them and rub away the markings with those. And this one is just a white tailor's pencil. I think it might be like it might be a chalk. I'm not really sure, but it definitely goes away when you wipe it. So those are the different things you can mark with. You need something that will mark on dark fabrics and something that will mark on light fabrics. So you need a combination of, this is in blue, this is white, this is a yellow, which will show on dark fabrics, and this one is like a dark charcoal color. The friction pens come in all different colors. This one is black, but I do have red and blue of those as well. So those, you're going to definitely need something to mark your fabric with. Also, you're going to need tape, and you need tape to put your PDF patterns together, or tape a pattern back together after you've made adjustments to it. So you definitely need a roll of tape handy in your sewing area. Pattern weights. You need pattern weights for these. Hold down your patterns while you're cutting them. So you put your fabric out and put these on top of the pattern and the fabric, and then you can just go around the lines. These are much better than pins. They don't snag your fabric. They're quicker, and I have a variety. I've had these. These were my mother's, so I've had these for years, these 4. And then I also have some little ones that I picked up somewhere, I don't remember where. So you're definitely going to need some pattern weights. You're going to need some pins, mostly not for cutting out, but mostly for construction. But you definitely are going to need pins. And I would buy the long quilt pins. I think the longer ones are just nicer to work with. They just are easier to pull out as you're going, because you don't really want to sew over them. You need you need good fabric scissors. These are Gingher's 8-inch dressmaking scissors, and they're wonderful. My favorite pair. And you also need some small scissors for detail work, for cutting, trimming seams, and for clipping curves and that kind of thing. You don't absolutely need this, but it makes life easier to have a rotary cutting mat, which is what I have all these tools laid on, and a rotary cutter. I have 2 sizes here. Actually, I have 3 sizes, but I only have 2 out. 2 sizes. You can get in closer and more detail with this one. This one is a 45. What I like about this one is that the blades seem to be more readily available and cheaper for the 45 millimeter. So if I was just going to buy one, I would buy this one. It just makes life easier to have that. Let's see. So that's basically what you need to get your project cut out. You also need a surface to do that on. I have this nice island in my sewing room, but you can use your kitchen table. There are people who will use a floor. If you use a floor, you want to use a hard floor so that you can be more accurate. They do make, I remember seeing them, but I couldn't tell you where. Maybe I'll post it down below if I can find it, but they do make a board that you can fold out and put on the floor. Which, like, if you have carpet. So I remember using those like once, way back when I was a teenager. All right, so that's what you're going to need to get your pattern cut out. So then for constructing your your pattern, you're going to need a sewing machine, as I've mentioned before. Next video, I'm going to talk about what are the features that you need most and a couple of suggestions on some top brands. You're going to need thread. You're going to need lots of bobbins that come with your machine. You're going to need needles, and you're going to need a variety of sizes of needles. I'm going to link below a little variety pack that you can purchase from Amazon that will have like everything you need to get started in needles. I change my needle with every project, so you need a lot of needles. These Oregon needles that I have here, they're very inexpensive. This is the first time I've tried them. So far, so good, but jury's still out on them. I'll let you know. But they're very much more inexpensive than some of the other ones. Mostly I've bought Schmetz brand, but it isn't so much the brand as it is using a fresh needle each time and the right needle, which we will have a video about that as well. You're going to need an ironing board, which you all know what an ironing board looks like. I think you can see a little bit of mine here. You also need a steam iron, and this one is a Rowenta Pro, and it steams really well, and that's the kind of steam you need to do a really good job when you're sewing, because you want to be able to get right in there to the seams and get them pressed open, or whichever way you need them to go for that particular piece. What's nice about this iron too is that it takes just tap water. It tells you not to put distilled water in it or it will ruin it. So that makes it nice and easy. You don't have to go buy special water for it. I like that. You also need some kind of a pin cushion. I use one that's a magnet, which I think actually I have a couple of them, but in the beginning you only really need one. I keep one by my cutting table, one by my sewing machine, and one by my ironing board, because I'm always kind of pinning and unpinning in all those places. So, but one is plenty if you're just beginning. You also need a seam ripper. Everybody, this is the thing that you love to hate. But it's so necessary, and you should not feel bad about needing it, because it happens to everyone. We all need the seam ripper from every now and then. And sometimes you need it for planned reasons, like if you're basting something, which basting is just sewing something down to hold it in place while you sew it. And then you need to go back and rip those stitches out later. So definitely you need a seam ripper, and you'll become friends with it, I promise. And you also need some little thread snips. A little pair of scissors will also do, but if you can possibly get some, these little snips are really nice to have by your sewing machine that just cut the threads. I found that cutting threads as you go keeps your project a lot less messy, so it helps a lot. And finally, you're going to want to have something to store all of your things in. So obviously I have a room, so I don't need anything now, but back when I was living at home and sewing, you know, I was living at home with my parents, I had a large chest that folded out, and it could store a lot of things. And you need something like that just to keep your things together. So I'll put a link to some couple different options of things like that down below as well. You can pick those up pretty well at Hobby Lobby too, or Joann's. They usually have that kind of stuff. You might get lucky with a good coupon there too, so you never know. And then occasionally you're going to want to do some hand sewing, so you're going to need regular hand sewing needles and just a small pair of scissors, which you can use the same ones that I told you for trimming seams and stuff. Just a small pair of scissors to take in front of the TV so you can do your hand sewing that most projects have at least a little bit of hand sewing that needs to be done. I try to minimize it because it's like my not favorite thing to do. So basically those are the things you need to get started. And go ahead and take your time. If you can't get it all, and you would like me to help you prioritize, feel free to email me. I'll put my email address down below as well, so you can email me. And I will try and help you prioritize or help you find something if you can't find it. So yeah, those are the basic things you're going to need to start off on our journey. I'm very excited to teach you all to sew. There is nothing like wearing a garment that you've made and having it fit properly, and you're not pulling and adjusting all day long because you've made it to fit you. And it does a lot for your self-esteem to be able to know that you it can look nice on you, that anything can look nice on you because you can make it to your size. Whether you're small or large, we're all different. Our body types are all different. So that's one of the huge benefits of sewing. It's also a wonderful creative outlet. And also, I don't know how much you've been around the sewing community, but can I just say that the sewing community is full of great people. And the more that you hang out with, meet people in Joann's or Hobby Lobby or some other fabric store or online in a forum or whatever, the more you hang out with people who sew, the more you realize just how awesome the sewing community is. Just the other day, I was looking at a pattern and I thought, I wonder if that would look good on me though. You know, because that always goes through your head. It looks great on her, but will it look good on me? So I went to Instagram and I just typed in the name of the pattern, and a whole bunch of things came up showing different people wearing that pattern, all shapes, all sizes. I was able to see somebody shaped quite a bit like me wearing that pattern, and I could then know that, yeah, I think it will look good on me. So that's a real benefit. So use Instagram. What I would like to do with this class as we go along and we have makes to show, I would like to have our very own hashtag, which we can start now. If you want to show a picture of your things that you've gathered together for your sewing journey, take a picture, post it to Instagram with the hashtag Friday Sewing School. And we can all get to know each other a little better that way, and share what you've made. And yeah, so I think that would be a great way to for you guys to share back to me. And also you can leave questions and comments under the comment section below. I will try and put a link to every single thing I talk about every week. Once again, if you have trouble finding something, I'm going to also put my email address so that you'll be able to contact me. And I would really like to just hold your hand, walk alongside you on this journey. Let the adventure begin. You ready, set, sew. Happy sewing.